Hey, Jason here from Simply Swider. If your fridge is making knocking noises, don't worry. In the next 12 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to diagnose and fix it. Now, I'll be straight with you. This isn't one of those normal fridge sounds you can just ignore. Before we get started, if you run into any questions, jump into our Facebook group, links in the description. We've got thousands of people helping each other fix their appliances, and I pop in there daily to help out. All right, so here's the deal. Fridges make all kinds of normal sounds. Humming, clicking, whirring, that's all totally fine. But knocking, that's your refrigerator telling you something's wrong. After fixing fridges for over 15 years, I can tell you this usually means you're looking at a loose compressor, fan blade issues, or ice buildup problems. The good news is most of these you can absolutely tackle yourself and save a couple $100 on a service call. So the compressor, that's the heart of your cooling system down at the bottom or back of your fridge. When this thing starts knocking, you've got two possibilities going on. I had this customer last month with an older Whirlpool thing was making this loud banging sound every few minutes. Turned out the internal components were shot, literally bouncing around inside the compressor housing. That's what happens when these things get old and worn out. But here's where it gets interesting. If you've got a newer fridge making this noise, it's probably just loose mounting bolts. The compressor vibrates like crazy when it's running, kind of like a car engine. If those rubber bushings wear out or the bolts get loose, all that vibration turns into knocking against your fridge frame. You can see me doing this right here. Carefully pull your fridge away from the wall so you can get a good look at that compressor. Safety first, people. Unplug your fridge and wait 5 minutes before you start any inspection. This gives the compressor time to stop running completely. Sometimes I'll put on a dry mitt and carefully feel the compressor while it's running. If the noise gets quieter when you press on it, you know it's just loose mounting. If not, and you're feeling crazy vibrations, those internal parts are probably done for. Now, tightening loose bolts is something you can handle with a basic socket wrench set. Usually takes about 10 minutes, but replacing a compressor, that's going to run you 300 to 600 bucks and needs a certified tech with specialized equipment. Don't be a hero on this one. Moving on to the evaporator fan. This little guy lives in your freezer compartment and circulates that cold air throughout your fridge. Ice buildup around this fan is probably the most common cause of knocking I see, especially on Samsung units. Here's what happens. Water from your defrost cycle can freeze around those fan blades. When ice completely jams the blades, you get this intermittent knocking every couple seconds. The fan's trying to spin but can't make a full rotation, so it keeps hitting that ice. Now, if the ice is only partially blocking the blades, you're going to hear faster, more constant knocking as those blades scrape against the ice with every rotation. Trust me, this gets loud and annoying real quick. But sometimes it's not ice at all. Those fan blades can get warped or damaged, especially if someone's been rough with the freezer door or shoved stuff in there too hard. Here's your dead giveaway test. Open your fridge door and listen. If the knocking stops immediately and starts back up within 10 seconds of closing the door, that's definitely your evaporator fan. The door switches automatically turn that fan on and off. To fix it, unplug your fridge and let it defrost for a few hours. Check those fan blades for any warping or damage while you're at it. If they're bent up or cracked, you're looking at about 15 to 40 bucks for a replacement fan motor. Way cheaper than calling someone like me out. Another common culprit is the condenser fan motor. You'll find this one at the bottom of your fridge next to those coils. These fan blades are made from lightweight materials, usually plastic or thin metal, which makes them easy to damage. I remember this Whirlpool I worked on recently where the fan motor had worked itself loose from all the vibration. The whole thing was wobbling when it spun, causing the blades to knock against other components. Took me 5 minutes to tighten it down and the noise was gone. Sometimes you'll get debris stuck in there, dust bunnies, pet hair, or even small objects that fell through the back panel. The blades hit this stuff every rotation and create that knocking sound. This one's pretty easy to spot because you can actually see what's going on down there. Just pull your fridge out from the wall and take a look. The noise usually starts right when your compressor kicks on because both the compressor and condenser fans start running at the same time. First thing to do is clean out any junk that's gotten in there. Then check if the fan motor mounting screws have worked loose. Happens more often than you'd think. If the blades themselves are warped or cracked, you're looking at replacing the whole fan motor assembly. These run anywhere from 25 to about 130 depending on your model. Ice makers are responsible for about 60% of the knocking noise calls I get, especially on Samsung models. The knocking usually happens during the harvest cycle. That's when the mechanism tries to dump ice into the bin. The whole assembly can freeze up from humidity or water leaks, causing all those moving parts to bind up and knock against each other. When the auger motor tries to turn that spiral mechanism and it's frozen solid, you get this loud banging every few seconds. Sometimes the problem is simpler, loose mounting screws or a worn out drive coupling. These parts take a beating from all that ice making action, especially if you're someone who uses a lot of ice. Here's how you know it's the ice maker. The knocking happens on a cycle, usually when it's trying to harvest ice or fill with water. It's not constant like a fan problem. Defrosting usually solves the freezing issues, but you might need to replace damaged components. Ice maker assemblies run 50 to 150, which beats the heck out of a service call. Just make sure to turn off that ice maker while you're troubleshooting. No point in it trying to make ice while you're working on it. You can see the most affected models on the screen right now. We're looking at Samsung front-load refrigerators, especially the French door models with bottom freezers. These units have had more ice maker and evaporator fan issues than I care to count. Whirlpool and Maytag refrigerators, particularly the ones from about 5 to 10 years ago, tend to have compressor mounting problems. Those rubber bushings just wear out over time with all that vibration. LG units shown here are usually pretty reliable, but when they do develop knocking sounds, it's typically the condenser fan motor getting loose or damaged. The models displayed here represent probably 70% of the knocking noise calls I get. Don't ask me how I know that, but these particular refrigerator lines just seem more prone to these specific issues. That's how you track down and fix refrigerator knocking noises. Start by listening to figure out where it's coming from, then work through these common causes. Most of the time, you're looking at ice buildup that needs defrosting or a loose component that needs tightening. Remember, safety comes first. Always unplug your fridge before working on it, and don't mess with that compressor unless you really know what you're doing. If you know someone having appliance troubles, share this video with them. I've got tons of other repair videos that can save hundreds in service calls for simple fixes like these. If this helped you get your fridge running quietly again, hit that like button and drop a comment below. Let me know which fix worked for you. Really helps other people with the same problem. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'll get this out to more folks who need to save some time and money. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.